Well, thank you very much, Amy, and thank you everybody for coming today. I know this is not a protest, but I cannot be with HongKongers without beginning by saying, Wong Fu Hong Kong! Wong Fu Hong Kong! Wong Fu Hong Kong! It's wonderful to be back in Canada and to be here in the Greater Toronto area, and specifically to be here in Markham, and wonderful to be with the Hong Kong community here again. This is the third stop on my tour of Canada. I was in Ottawa at the beginning of this trip, meeting members of Parliament and global affairs, doing advocacy on behalf of Hong Kong Watch, but also launching my new book, the China Nexus. And then I'm here today with my publisher, Dean Ransdale from Optimum Publishing International. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm using two microphones now. I want to thank Dean so much for not just for publishing the book and for organising the book tour and for taking me on, but also for being a real ally and fellow activist for Hong Kong and for all the peoples who are suffering under the Chinese Communist Party regime. After Ottawa, we were in Montreal and we did a great event there. Then we came to Toronto yesterday. We did an event last night in Toronto City, and now I'm with you today. And I just thought I would say a few words about the book, very briefly, about why I wrote it and what it says. Basically, this book is a wake-up call. I wrote it because I could see the dismantling of Hong Kong's freedoms and autonomy and the rule of law, but at the same time I could see so many other tragedies committed by the Chinese Communist Party regime. The genocide of the Uyghur people, the continued atrocities in Tibet, the persecution of Christians in China, the issue of forced organ harvesting in China, the crackdown on civil society and lawyers and bloggers and activists across mainland China. And on top of all of that, of course, the increasing threats to Taiwan, as well as the Chinese Communist Party's complicity with the atrocities in two countries that border China, where I have also spent much of my life working for human rights and freedom, Myanmar or Burma and North Korea. So the book looks at all of these issues and it concludes with a chapter on what the international community should do to help the people of Hong Kong and to help all the other people who are suffering under the CCP. The book has two chapters on Hong Kong itself because I went straight after graduating from university to work in Hong Kong for the first 5 years after the handover. I had already been in China before that. When I was 18 years old, I went to teach English in the city of Qingdao on the east coast of China. Famous, as I'm sure you know, for the best beer in China. That wasn't the reason I went there, but it was a nice discovery once I was there. And I made many friends in Qingdao. And one thing that I'm clear about in the book is that I am against the Chinese Communist Party, but I am for the different peoples who live under its rule. So I'm for the peoples of China, I'm for the Uyghurs, I'm for the Tibetans, and as I think you know, I'm very much for Hong Kongers. So the first chapter is my time in Qingdao. The second chapter is my 5 years in Hong Kong, when at that time, one country, two systems was working pretty well. Maybe not perfectly, but pretty well. And I describe the experiences of living in Hong Kong. But then later in the book, I have a second chapter on Hong Kong, which looks at the situation from the time of the umbrella movement in 2014 until the present day. And in solidarity with not only the umbrella movement, but the whole democracy movement since then, whenever I speak on Hong Kong, I usually carry a yellow umbrella, but today it's sunny weather in Toronto, so I didn't need an umbrella. If I don't wear a yellow umbrella, I usually wear a yellow tie. But today I knew I didn't need to be formally dressed, so I didn't wear a tie. But I am wearing a yellow shirt. So in the chapter, the second chapter on Hong Kong, I look at everything that has happened since 2014. Some of you may be aware that in 2017, I was denied entry to Hong Kong. I was probably the first foreigner to be denied entry to Hong Kong. There have been others since me, but I think that I was probably the first. And of course, what I have experienced is nothing compared to what Hong Kongers in Hong Kong and many of you who have had to leave Hong Kong have experienced. But it gives me at least some sense of what you are going through, because like you, like many of you, I cannot no longer go to Hong Kong, the city that was once my home, the city where I began my working life. Not only was I denied entry in 2017, but in March this year, I woke up one morning and opened my emails to find, to my surprise, a letter from firstly the Hong Kong Police Force and then the Hong Kong National Security Bureau, telling me that what I am doing personally and what we in Hong Kong Watch are doing is a serious threat to China's national security and that we are in serious violation of Hong Kong's draconian national security law. Of course, we don't have any entity in Hong Kong. We're entirely based in both the UK and we have a growing team and presence in Canada. But still, we've been threatened under the national security law. And I was threatened with a prison sentence of, the first letter said 1 to 3 years, the second letter said 3 years to life. The book tells all these experiences, both my own personal experiences, but more importantly, the story of Hong Kongers and all the other people suffering under the CCP. And it is a call, it is a wake-up call, but it is also a call to action. And so I hope that, thank you to those of you who have already bought a copy. There are still some copies left, and I hope that you'll come and see me and buy a copy and I'll sign it for you. And I hope that you'll tell others, tweet about it, post about it, tell others to read this book, but not just to read this book, but to read it and then to act to help free Hong Kong and free China. So thank you very much. Guang Fuk Hong Kong, Da Yao.
So thank you, Mr. Rogers. Can we also, can we once again give him a warm round of Canadian welcome? 俾多啲掌聲我哋前面嗰個朋友好唔好啊？呢個為我哋香港人爭取到一個地步咧，我好欣賞the most heartwarming thing, Benedict, is every week you write something in Chinese, in the traditional fonts. That's amazing. 我哋俾多啲掌聲佢。我哋香港人呢個地步咧，係學寫繁體字個星期咧都寫啲嘢鼓勵我哋啊 ！Thank you so much. It means a lot when we read your words in our language once a week almost. Yeah. Thank you so much. 咁咧頭先咧，我哋希望大家都清楚聽到佢講嘢啦。呢個我自己私人嘅，我唔係戴緊做司儀嗰頂帽。我諗我哋而家第二次活動咧，我哋成立香港人嘅社區咧，我哋要俾人哋睇到我哋香港人嘅品牌同講國語嘅有啲咩唔同咧，就係咧。我諗我哋一開始試下嘗試有人講緊嘢嘅時候，我哋唔傾偈。咁 咁呢個係好大嘅分別。你見如果你想要係加拿大嘅傳統又好，你想要係我哋 keep 翻英國人嘅傳統又好咧，我哋邊個講緊嘅時候，我哋其實一靜落嚟，你就會 feel 到有 class 同冇 class 嘅分別。我哋好唔好嚟到嘅香港人，我哋都堅持呢一樣嘢，好唔好？你去到邊度，至少隔離台嘈嘅，我哋香港人會係專心聽人講嘢嘅，好唔好啊？鼓勵下大家，多謝你哋嚇，多謝。好啦，咁樣講起香港人咧，好重要，因為咧嚟緊啲日子咧，我哋會俾好大嘅壓力喺佢膊頭上面。啲香港人社區香港人社區中心嘅活動咧，籌辦聯絡，同埋你有啲咩嘢臨急臨忙，有啲咩需要尋求協助嘅，都係揾佢噶啦。咁啊，我哋交時間俾阿 Max 同我哋講下點樣了解多少少香港人社區中心，同埋點樣加入你哋嘅活動，好唔好啊？俾啲掌聲阿 Max 好唔好啊？咁阿 Max 咧喺嚟加拿大之前咧，佢喺香港都係用區議員嘅身份咧服務我哋香港人嘅。俾啲掌聲阿 Max 好唔好啊？
多謝大家，多謝。其實我係阿 Max 啦，大家好啊。咁啊，睇住個線都唔夠長，唔緊要。我好似碧咸介紹咁啦，我嚟咗加拿大，同大家一樣，其實嚟咗1年左右。咁我諗呢1年入邊咧，今日係我見得最多香港人嘅一日啦。咁啊，嗰個感受係我頭先其實一路喺隔離啦，咁我一路執頭執尾啦，一路嗰個感受好強烈就係哇！點解我好似突然之間翻咗去？我以前係住大埔，即係我係大埔做區議員嘅。有冇人都係住大埔或者住過大埔㗎？原來有咁多㗎！我頭先個感覺就好似我翻咗去大埔啲社區會堂或者社區活動咁樣咧，大家都同聲同氣，嗰個感覺係好觸動嘅。同埋大埔人係一個好特別嘅群體嚟嘅。如果你哋住過大埔，你哋知道大埔人咧係你總係覺得佢與別不同嘅，係一個好團結啦、好互相幫忙嘅團體。我做咗區議員時間唔長啦，本來可以再長啲嘅，唔知點解突然之間俾人縮短咗啦。我對社區嗰個感受就係，我哋講緊社區中心，我哋講嘅唔係淨係一間書店或者一啲揾工嘅渠道。我哋講社區，我哋係講緊人啊嘛。我哋每一個人，我哋只係身份，我哋就代表咗呢個社區。我哋成日都會睇世界盃，好讚歎日本人啊，點解佢哋可以執嘢咁乾淨啊？點解佢哋可以咁有禮貌？其實香港人都好犀利。我哋以往去諗我哋香港人係乜嘢咧？可能就係諗下中華價值啊、揾錢啊、work-life balance 啊。但係呢2-3年喺我哋好辛苦、好困惑嘅時候，我哋反而覺得香港人原來有好多好漂亮嘅一面嘅，好互相幫忙啦，好支持對方啦。我哋今日見到大家有Book Treasure 啦，有 City of Richmond Hill 啦，有 Job Clinic 啦、RBC 咧，有好多嘢食啦。其實全部嘢都唔係突然出現嘅，全部嘢都係佢哋主動走過嚟揾我哋，我哋有咩可以幫手，有咩可以為呢個社區出力。所以我哋拍手，我哋除咗多謝佢之外，我哋感激我哋香港人呢個身份，其實係俾咗我哋好多嘅鼓勵，俾咗我哋好多嘅價值。我作為一個新移民，啱啱嚟到加拿大，我都受咗好多香港人嘅幫忙。所以呢個社區中心即係我哋 HongKonger Canada 一齊合作，我哋好希望可以俾到一個平台大家，即係除咗大家平時可以一個聚頭嘅機會，見到啲香港人同聲同氣之外，我哋希望可以建立翻我哋香港人喺呢一度嘅身份，話翻俾本土嘅加拿大人知道，香港人 HongKonger 呢個身份同其他嘅族群係有啲唔同嘅，係咪啊？大家我哋有我哋嘅 class 先好似碧咸話齋，希望大家可以即係嚟緊多啲參與我哋嘅活動啦。咁我哋嚟緊咧其實係每個月嘅最後一個禮拜六，我哋都會有聚頭嘅 gathering 嘅機會嘅。咁我哋12月就10月31號啦，咁我哋會有一個簡單嘅一個新年嘅 gathering 啦，俾大家聚下頭食下嘢。咁1月28號咧，咁我哋亦都有一個農曆新年嘅晚宴，咁我哋到時會有一個邀請俾大家出席嘅。咁至於2月尾嘅嗰個嘅聚會咧，我哋就係一個揾工嘅平台啊！我哋希望做一個香港人嘅就業博覽，因為我哋今日嘅主題其中一個都係 Open Work Permit 啦，開放式工作簽證。我哋知道好多啱啱嚟到加拿大嘅香港人，佢哋好辛苦啊！其實可能佢哋本身有個學位孭住喺度，咁做過幾年嘢，有啲工作經驗。但係嚟到加拿大，偏偏所有公司都要求佢哋要有 Canadian experience， 加拿大工作經驗。咁呢個新移民又點會有咧？咁所以我哋希望可以即係聚集到多一啲嘅就業機會， 無論係香港人嘅公司又好，或者係啲大公司都好，好似 RBC 今日好支持我哋。我哋希望可以俾到一啲工作嘅機會佢哋，令到佢哋可以盡快適應到加拿大嘅生活，亦都可以展現到佢本身喺香港嘅工作經驗同埋學習嘅經驗。大家知道喺加拿大做嘢，你見到加拿大人做嘢嗰個工作節奏同香港人係爭好遠㗎嘛。平時喺超級市場買嘢啊，便利店買嘢你都會知道。咁其實香港好多新嚟嘅新移民佢都好叻好 fit 嘅。咁我哋希望一個就業嘅博覽，讓大家咧，就讓佢哋可以有一個機會可以即係盡快 settle down喺加拿大揾到工作，展現到佢嘅才能。咁啊，如果其實今日所有報咗名咧，你哋有電郵地址嘅。咁如果你哋唔介意咧，我哋都會將一啲嘅我哋之後活動嘅消息啦，我哋透過電郵咧發佈俾大家。咁如果大家收到個電郵，你歡迎你嚟參與啦。咁如果你唔想再收到，都可以覆翻我話unsubscribe 咁冇問題嘅。咁但係我哋會透過電郵咧係聯絡大家啦。咁另外，如果大家係想多啲參與我哋嘅活動，譬如做義工啊，又或者你都有一啲活動，你覺得係好適合我哋呢個社區中心嘅，都歡迎大家咧一陣走嘅時候咧去我哋嘅 reception。咁我哋 reception 嗰啲義工可以幫手記低你哋個聯絡方法。咁我會主動聯絡翻你哋，咁睇下原來譬如你有嘢食可以分享俾大家嘅，好似今日有好多朋友啦整咗啲缽仔糕啊俾我哋。如果你有嘢食想分享，或者你有其他任何工作嘅教寫 CV 嘅想分享咧，都歡迎你留低你個聯絡方法啦。咁我哋主動揾翻你，咁可以我哋一齊參與呢個社區中心嘅活動。咁我唔講太多啦，最後好多謝大家今日參與呢個社區中心嘅活動啦。好似 A 所講，我哋呢個香港人社區中心唔係屬於任何一個團體，係屬於所有喺呢一度嘅香港人。咁希望大家 enjoy 今日嘅活動，亦都歡迎大家咧繼續參與我哋嚟緊嘅活動咧，同埋即係多啲幫手，即係讓我哋新嚟到嘅香港嘅加拿大嘅新移民咧都可以即係好似今日咁樣感受到嗰種好溫馨嘅香港人聚頭嘅感覺，好唔好啊？多謝大家 ，thank you。
我總之有香港人嘅地方，嗰度就係香港，咁所以有你哋喺度嘅話咧，我哋就呢度就係我哋嘅香港。咁咧我仲想介紹多一位朋友咧，如果你有冇人係屋企有啲讀中學或細啲嘅仔女嘅，咁咧你想了解下呢度嘅教育制度嘅話咧，雖然佢啱啱卸咗任，但係咧我哋都有前約克區教委嘅主席咧 Alan 喺度嚇。咁啊，如果你想要知道呢度嘅教育制度係點嘅，又或者係你想要認識下呢度啲教會嘅，佢認識好多教會嘅朋友咧，因為其他嘅族裔壯大自己社群咧就靠教會。雖然我都識佛教嘅朋友，但係佢哋嘅佛堂唔係咁容易有我哋香港人嘅社區。但係如果我哋壯大翻自己香港人嘅社區，啲教會裏邊話事嘅都係香港人嘅話咧，都係自己人嘅話咧，會保護啲有心嘅牧者多好多。咁你可以同阿 Alan 聯絡咧，我哋可以睇下你有時間嘅加入邊間教會去幫手。咁重複多次啦，我哋咧而家開始咧就有分組活動嘅時間㗎啦。想要簽名同埋買書嘅可以line up over there. You can talk to Mr. Rogers and open work permit 嘅喺呢度，我哋圍埋傾偈。RBC 嘅朋友喺嗰邊可唔可以再舉多次手啊 ？Thank you 嚇。咁跟住然之後咧 job clinic 嘅，想要學寫 CV 嘅，可唔可以舉手啊 ？job clinic 喺隔離嗰張台 job clinic 嘅朋友可唔可以揮揮手？係喺後邊啊 ，OK 好。跟住然之後咧有列治文山市政府嘅 Alex 喺嗰邊 ，OK 咁喺後邊嘅朋友 ，OK 係啦，可以去想知道幫政府做嘢嘅點加入嘅喺嗰度。想要買書嘅，我哋有 book treasure 喺嗰邊啦。跟住食嘢嘅，我哋有義工朋友喺嗰邊啦。留翻喺呢度嘅可以睇世界盃，又或者你想知道喺多倫多啲老華僑社區係點嘅，我89年嚟咗未走過啦，咁我都可以留低喺度同你傾下偈。你想知道喂邊啲社區避開，邊啲社區可以加入啊？成日話咧，我哋可以慢慢同我傾偈。咁我哋而家開始分組活動啦，多謝晒大家俾啲掌聲，所有人啦因為我哋要 appreciate 對方啦。咁希望我哋可以每個月至少一次，我哋都可以見到大家。多謝你啊 ，thank you。
咁樣樣，係啦。